Hello everyone, it's Alex, your IELTS tutor, and welcome back to our lecture series on IELTS Speaking, Mindset Book 1. Today we'll be discussing the Speaking Unit 7. I would like to introduce this topic of fame and media for IELTS Speaking Part 2 and 3. Firstly, we'll explore some of the most common types of questions that you may face in these parts of the speaking test. Then we will look at how to use connecting words to make our answers longer and more cohesive. Finally, we will practice answering different types of questions using the tips and strategies that we will learn in this video. It's important to note that this topic can be quite challenging for many IELTS students, as it requires you to think on your feet and express your thoughts coherently and fluently in English. However, with the right mindset and practice, you can improve your speaking skills and feel more confident on test day. When we talk about fame and media, it's important to look at some examples of famous people and understand what makes them stand out. Angelina Jolie, for instance, is famous for her work as an actress, filmmaker, and humanitarian. She's won numerous awards for her performances in movies like Girl Interrupted, Changeling, Maleficent. But Jolie is also known for her humanitarian work. Bill Gates, on the other hand, is known for his work in the technology industry. He co-founded Microsoft, one of the largest and most successful software companies in the world, and has been recognized as one of the wealthiest and most powerful people on the planet. Gates has also been active in philanthropy, having founded the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, which supports initiatives in global health, education, and other areas. When we describe these famous individuals, it's important to use appropriate vocabulary and adjectives to convey their achievements and influence. Words like talented, successful, innovative, visionary, philanthropic, and inspiring can be used to describe Angelina Jolie and Bill Gates. When you are answering the questions in Speaking Part 2, it's very important to use connecting words to make your answers sound more cohesive, natural, and longer. Using words such as and, because, but, in spite of, and so helps to connect your ideas and make your answers flow better. For example, if you are asked to describe a place you have visited, you can start by saying, I visited an amazing place last year, and it was a life-changing experience for me. Here, the word and connects your introduction to your main point, making your answer more cohesive. Similarly, you can also use because to give reasons for your opinions. For instance, I think Angelina Jolie is an inspiring actress because of her humanitarian work. Using but and in spite of can help you show contrasting ideas or present challenges and obstacles. For example, I loved visiting Paris, but it was difficult to communicate because of the language barrier. Finally, using so can help you make a conclusion or a summary of your answer. For example, so, overall, I think Bill Gates is an extraordinary entrepreneur and philanthropist. Using connecting words in your answers can help you improve your coherence and cohesion, which are essential skills for the speaking test. Practice using these words in your responses to make them sound more natural and fluent. Now it's time to practice. Let's choose this Part 2 question and answer it using the tips we discussed earlier. Here are some additional tips for you. Find a study partner or a tutor. It's important you practice speaking with someone who can give you feedback on your language use and pronunciation. This could be a friend, family member, or even an online tutor. Use the internet to your advantage. There are plenty of online resources available for practicing IELTS speaking. Look for websites or YouTube channels that provide sample questions and answers, or even join online discussion forums where you can practice with other learners. You can record yourself. If you don't have someone to practice with, you can always record yourself speaking and listen back to it later. This will help you identify areas for improvement and work on your weaknesses. Focus on fluency first. Don't worry too much about making mistakes or using perfect grammar when you're practicing. Focus on speaking fluently and confidently, and work on improving your accuracy over time. Get feedback. It's important to receive feedback on your speaking so you can identify areas that you need to improve on. Ask your study partner or tutor to provide specific feedback on your language use, pronunciation, and grammar. Keep a record of your progress. It's a good idea to keep a record so you can see how far you've come. Keep track of the questions you've practiced, your scores, and any feedback you've received. This will help you stay motivated and focus on your goals. Moving on to the final part of the IELTS speaking test, we have Part 3, where the examiner will ask you more abstract questions related to the topic of fame and media. Part 3 questions can be different types, such as making a suggestion, explaining, comparing, predicting, giving opinions, and more. To answer Part 3 questions, you need to use your critical thinking and analysis skills to provide thoughtful responses. You can use linking words and phrases such as however, although, in addition, and on the other hand, to make your answers more cohesive and structured. For example, if you are asked a question like, do you think people today are too obsessed with famous people? You can use the following structure to answer. First, introduce your point of view. In my opinion. Then, explain your reasoning using an example or a reason. For example, although it's understandable why people are interested in celebrities and their lives, I think it can be harmful when it becomes an obsession. Finally, provide a conclusion to your answer. For example, overall, I believe that we should focus on our own lives and goals rather than comparing ourselves to famous people. Practicing answering different types of Part 3 questions related to the topic of fame and media. You can also watch interviews and debates related to the topic to get more ideas and practice your listening skills. All right, before we wrap up, here's one final tip that nobody will tell you about the IELTS test. What do I mean by that? Well, on the IELTS test, you will encounter a variety of questions, topics, and situations that you may not be familiar with. You may not know all the words or expressions. You may not have a clear idea of what the examiner is asking you, and you may not be able to predict what will happen next. That's okay. It's normal to feel uncertain and uncomfortable in these situations. However, what separates successful IELTS test takers from those who struggle is their ability to manage their uncertainty. Instead of getting stuck or anxious, they use critical thinking, communication, and problem-solving skills to navigate the test. They make educated guesses, clarify the task, ask for clarification, and adapt their strategies as needed. So my final tip for you is this: don't try to control everything or be perfect. Instead, focus on developing your flexibility, resilience, and resourcefulness. Learn to embrace uncertainty as an opportunity to learn, grow, and showcase your language abilities. With practice and a positive mindset, you can succeed on the IELTS test and beyond. Good luck, and see you next time.